Hey everyone, Szymanski back again with another video. We're going to do something fun today. Recently I downloaded the new Google Pay app. I have been a Google Pay user for a long time. I have had Android since I think forever. I never had an iPhone or anything. So I've been using the native Google Pay app. Actually, take a step back. I started with Samsung Pay and their model was actually very interesting. So for a second, let's talk about that. They had something where you could, load your cards on. So you take a picture of your Discover, you enter the payment details, you pay via NFC. This was probably back like 5 years ago. And they had something where you could make purchases and then you got like points for like Samsung or whatever it is, different, gift cards and stuff like that you could use those points for. And that was really cool. I like the concept of getting cash back in an app on top of getting the cash back on the card. So this is kind of like a blend of technology and finance. I'm very interested in both, obviously. So I don't know where we're really going to take this, but what I do want to talk about today specifically is the Google Pay app. Because what they've done here with this new version is they've just, the feature set is totally different. They went from just focusing on payments and the use of taking your phone, loading your cards onto it, loading your membership cards on it, and tapping in one of the like a point of sale thing. They've totally renovated it. As you can see, I'm going to put the phone on the screen here. You can see everything that I'm going to just walk through everything, and we're kind of see where all that goes. So let's dive into it. So the main reason we're looking at this specifically today in December of 2020 is because it's brand new. And as you can see, if you scroll down here to the bottom, there is something that says, "Know a friend who would like this app? Welcome 2021 by inviting your friends to the new Google Pay app. Will both get $21. Each friend makes their first payment minimum of $10." So obviously that's the big reason that I'm doing this, because I want to get this out to everybody. Because what happens here, and I'll throw a picture of it on the screen or something like that, the terms and everything, is if I send you a code or use the code in the description, and you make a purchase of $10, then we both get $21. So it's free money. Obviously, it benefits me. I greatly appreciate it. You don't have to. If you'd like to not get $21, you can just download the app. Like I said, I'm going to go through everything here and just kind of give my overall thoughts on it. And what I've been using it for about like a month now. So that's kind of what the point of this video is. So like I said, the link's in the description. We'll talk about more of that here as we go. If we scroll back to the top, just like what you see as soon as you download Google Pay is a lot of different things. Obviously, like I said, it's no longer just to pay and just to go up to a gas station point of sale and tap it. There's a lot more stuff now. So what they're trying to do is, I think they're trying to kind of compete ultimately with a Venmo or PayPal and direct payments, because now you can find people to pay. So for instance, if you do download Google Pay, we could pay each other via the app. I think they're definitely going to be implementing a bank account feature. We'll get to that. But let's just kind of go through everything here. So I'll just tap around. We'll see what we got. So if we tap at the top here for search, you can search Google Pay for just different things like all transactions, Chipotle, obviously, as somewhere I go a lot. So all different things. So you can search people, businesses, transactions. It's going to keep a kind of like a record of those things that passes through Google Pay. And we'll see more of that if we hit back. If you tap on the card here at the top, it says ring in the new year with $21 cash back. It's these types of things that you're going to see a lot more in this new Google Pay app. In the old Google Pay, there was nothing like this. You literally had your cards and you had membership cards. So like if you had a little key tag for a grocery store near you or something like that, you had those types of things, a little barcode that you could scan, which was nice because that, for me, I don't have to carry anything on my keys anymore. But they have really taken it a step further with this whole cash back things, because again, from a finance perspective, I love getting money back when I'm just going to spend money anyway. So if I go down to, for instance, Target, and I'm going to spend, I don't know, $100 for easy numbers, just $100, and I get 2% cash back with the Citi Double Cash card that I have. I know there's a lot going on here, but you spend $100, you have a card that makes you 2% cash back, right? Well, you get $2 back. Well, now if you have something else that, on top of it, like an app like this, where you can pay with your Citi card through your phone, through this app, now you're making the $2 plus whatever else this app is going to give you. So that is why I really like these types of things. And I try to use mobile payments like Google Pay specifically as much as possible. So, they're just giving you some different things here. So like Target, and then the referral bonus, like we mentioned already. And then if you just kind of like X out of that, I guess here, If we click back to the cards here, this is more usual. This is more something that this almost looks exactly like the old Google Pay. So you can swipe through all your cards at the top. You have all of your stuff at the bottom here, all of your different loyalty, rewards, things, and stuff like that. And that's familiar. You can kind of play around with that. But yeah, so if we go back, now we have up at the top, there's just like your Google account there. And then again, we kind of tapped on this before. We can kind of see the different, the stuff that's going on there. For the people tab in the middle, you just need to click on that, and then you can invite people to Google Pay, or you can pay them if they already have Google Pay. It's a pretty nice feature, again, rivaling Venmo and services like that. And then we have all these businesses in the middle here. So some of these are places that I've been to recently. I'm in Pittsburgh, so a lot of local businesses. And then if you click on like Sheets, for instance, you can see all the different transactions that you've had there. And then you can also view your little Sheets card, which is nice. I love how it really does that. It really groups a lot of things together. So in the past, again, it was like your cards and then your membership cards, and there was nothing to the effect of, oh, I've spent this money here, or I have, this is my card associated with this different business. I mean, the way that they are really tying all this together is just really cool. And it looks like you can even see locations near you, so that's awesome. But yeah, so a lot of different stuff there, just different businesses. And I'm sure you could search for more, but those are just the ones that I seem to frequent, I suppose. So if we look at the Discover section, it says you can order takeout, so you can order food, you can get gas, or you can pay for street parking. Now, this is pretty interesting. If you click on either one of those, what it's going to do is bring up like a map of your area specifically and say, okay, hey, you can order food at these places, just using almost like if you were to type in directly on Google, delivery around me or food around me. It'll bring up restaurants for you. It'll bring up gas stations. And the street parking is really interesting too. If you're in a downtown or some area where there is street parking, you should be able to do that. I don't know if it works for all areas just yet, but that is also another cool thing that you can do directly, kind of integrated from the app. So a lot of good stuff that they have packed in here. If we look at the bottom, we can go over to Explore, and this is a little bit more about the ways to save, ways to earn, and you can see I've already earned some rewards. So what happened here, and I think it's still going on, is when I just got onto Google Pay, I didn't use anybody's referral link at the time because nobody had one out. But when I did that, I made, I think, 3 different purchases. Yeah, it doesn't really give you anything, but I made 3 purchases, and I got $3, $2.50, and another $2.50. So I made $8 just from purchasing random things that I already made the cash back on my card, but I also made it here. So another just real cool way to just earn a little extra cash. And then down here as well, they have, I guess, these sponsored things where they have, like deals with REI, with Target, Burger King. And again, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't shop at REI that much. I don't shop at Target that much. I rarely go to Burger King. But if you go to any of these places, then you're going to make more money than you already were, because if you went to, again, let's use a different example. If you go to Burger King and for some reason you spend like $100, right? Then you can get money back on your card. You get $2 back on your card, and it looks like you get 20% cash back here. That's actually crazy, 20% cash back. I know Burger King's normally like a smaller expenditure, but that is pretty impressive. You just have to look at this stuff. I mean, if you're in the finance space, even if you're not, I mean, it's literally, they're just giving you free money just for paying via this app. And one quick thing that I want to throw in here, I don't know if it's 100%, but you can see here. So look at this. So in popular this week here, right? So this popular this week section, it says when you pay in store, when you pay online, when you pay online, when you pay online. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but some sites have something in the actual, like on the actual site, it'll have the Google Pay logo and you'll be able to pay via Google Pay online. I love that because that does this. Like that is using this, I don't know, API, whatever you want to call it. It's using the Google Pay service to pay via there rather than processing via Stripe or anything like that you would have on there. So again, you don't even need to actually take this phone and tap it on a point of sale. Sometimes you can do it just online, which is fantastic. So just a lot more offers. That's awesome that they are doing all that. If we slide back down here, we go over to the last tab. This is where things start to get really interesting, truthfully. And this is more of a long term from what I've seen, what I've heard. I think Google as we just talked about a little bit earlier with rivaling Venmo, I think they're going to try to not become a bank, but start to have an account. So some of the things that you've seen in here already are, obviously cash back and payment using the app, paying other people, all that sort of stuff. But they're also trying to get in some budgeting tools. I've seen that in here. So like in this section, you can kind of see like you've spent $442 since December 1st. You have $0 today, like where all these things come from. You can have money inside this app, just like you could have like a Venmo balance or a PayPal balance. And then this is probably the most interesting thing on this app. Everything else is fantastic, but it's not like anything like earth-shattering for Google Pay. It's been a lot of updates, but this right down here, it says join a wait list for a Plex account, a new way to bank in Google Pay. And everything that I've heard from there is that it's going to be a bank account. Let's see what happens when we click it. It's going to be a bank account, and you can join obviously for early access, a bank account within Google, and it's a debit card fulfilled by either Citi or Stanford FCU. So look at that. That is pretty incredible. Now, will I get that? Probably not, because this is just like having like a Venmo account or a Venmo card or a PayPal card. But it's still pretty awesome to see Google kind of getting into that space. And again, whether you have good or negative feelings towards Google and everything they're doing, I don't know. I just like more competition. I think it's better for everybody. Google is kind of a big player, but we'll see kind of how that goes. But regardless, that is pretty awesome. The fact that they're kind of doing that, and then you can see more recent activity and stuff like that at the bottom. And yeah, I think as far as the top goes here, that's your money in Google. You can see like kind of the big picture. This is another thing too, is I use Mint personally for my financial like kind of overview and budgeting, everything like that. But it looks like you can add accounts right in here and try to do that if you want. Now, again, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? It's mostly personal preference. I probably wouldn't use Google Pay to do all that sort of stuff. And I have heard ideas that they should probably kind of like cut some of the stuff out of this app and put it in a different one. I tend to agree with that because there's just a lot of stuff in here, which is great. And again, it's very early on, so they might do that. But yeah, there's that. And then again, just how much money you've spent over typical weeks and stuff like that. Again, the budgeting. But yeah, that's pretty much a pretty good overview, I would say, of everything that's kind of going on here. And I'm excited about it, honestly. I am very excited to see what happens with Google Pay. I know that I used the predecessor app a lot in the past, and I loved it. I mean, anytime I would go to a store that had it, that let me tap and pay, I would do it. And you can even do that with cards nowadays. But again, I think bottom line here, if we want to sum everything up, I think the biggest reason that you should download Google Pay, you should use the referral link if you want to make $21, obviously. And I think that expires at the end of the year, so just a few days here. But all the links and everything, all that'll be in the description. But more than anything, I wanted to talk about this because I'm excited about it. I'm a geek when it comes to this type of stuff, saving money and all that sort of stuff. So, bottom line, if I could sum it up, I would say that you should get Google Pay because if you're interested in finance, you're interested in saving money, then you're going to save money already if you have a credit card, right? You're going to spend $100, you're going to get percentage points back, whatever. But this is going to take it over the top, especially when you pay at certain places. And if you're the type of person that likes to go to, likes to try different places and try, like if you've never been to REI again, for instance, from something we saw in there, you go over there, you pay with your app, and then you make a couple bucks back. I just think it's a win-win, honestly. I don't see any real downside to getting on it, especially if you already have a Google account, and especially if you were using the old Google Pay. I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer. So that's kind of my review, my initial thoughts on it. If I find anything else out, I'll update in the description or in the comments or anything like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear it. If you use the link, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If not, download it because I think that it could benefit you just in general. But yeah, thanks again, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.